Together, we're creating a new form of yoga, working with sacred sound and the power of your voice. It's a new and exciting, innovative way of deepening your practice of yoga, especially at this time on the planet, to help you unify more deeply, connect with you, connect with the planet, and therefore be more in tune. So today we're going to talk about strong reactions working with the Zobet Solfeggio frequencies.
Recently, as I've been teaching in my class, I found that some people are having an adverse reaction to the frequencies.
Yeah.
So one lady described it as being really irritating, and she was asking, why is it so? Just wondered if you can tell us.
Yeah. Well, it's always a good sign when someone has a reaction in their body, because it shows it's shifting something, it's touching something. And the frequencies represent the mass of the body. So you're basically giving mass, converting it into sound, giving it to the body, and you're basically helping the body go, remember, you're part of nature. Because the frequencies are based on the phi ratio, so they are working with the ratio that's present in the bones, and it's right down to the DNA. So it's really helping the body remember it's part of nature, and ultimately it's connected to everything. Now, the reason why someone would have a strong reaction, if you think about our general lives, we are quite disconnected from the planet. We're quite disconnected from ourselves, and someone would have a strong reaction because it's showing them places where they're not connected, and it's a good sign as opposed to a bad sign. So, for example, what was the frequency you were playing?
We were working with 396, but there was a contraction.
Okay.
This is awful. Why does it sound so out of tune?
Right.
This type of.
Okay. Yeah. So because if you think about most of Western music that we listen to, we are getting we're getting frequencies which aren't tuned to any kind of universal harmonics. So actually, we are detuning ourselves. When you hear the frequencies, initially the Zobet or the Solfeggio, it does sound like it's out of tune, because we are out of tune.
But actually, everything else is out of tune.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they would get irritated because it's starting to help them align. 396 is really helpful, as you know, for grounding, and it's clearing out any kind of fear-based energy in the body. And if you think about how fear manifests in the body to express that, if someone's in fear, they're in contraction, so they are disconnected. But if they're in truth and they're in love, then they're expanded, so therefore they are connected. So when you give 396 to the body, it helps to shift the fear. And so for sure, if she's feeling something,
it's a clearing energy.
It's a clearing. It's clearing, and it's helping them get in touch with that. We've been in a society which is so numbed out and wanting a quick fix, and not maybe wanting to do the work that goes with starting to feel again. That it feels a little bit scary, but it's really good to be able to go there.
So how would you talk someone through who's feeling irritated and who wants to contract and come away from that? How would you comfort them, or what words would you use to?
That's a great question.
Yeah. How would you show them that's okay?
Yeah. What I would do is I would help them see that they're feeling something in their body, and to, rather than shut off from that feeling, to breathe into it, to embrace it, because it's there as a tool to help them. Because 396 is based on the maths of the radius of the planet. If you draw a line from the centre of the Earth out to the equator, 3,960 miles. So 396, it's a version of the Earth, which is why it's a grounding frequency. So I would say to them, breathe, feel it. Where do they feel it in their body? How can they breathe into that more? And to also get them to be focusing on their feet. So focusing on their earth connection. If they've got shoes on, obviously if they're in the yoga studio, they won't have their shoes on. But if you think about how we live our lives, we wearing shoes, walking on tarmac,
Totally disconnected.
yeah, living in concrete, driving in cars, so
Yeah.
we're not having that connection with nature. So
So we want to also encourage people that are coming to yoga, or using Unify Yoga in particularly, to be out in nature and even to look at their diets, because that's going to make a difference to what they feel, isn't it?
Absolutely.
This is part of
yeah,
what you're talking about when you say that people are numbing themselves out.
yes, that's another thing. People say, oh well, I'm not feeling anything. Like there's you know, the frequencies aren't really working, and they're not any good, you know. And for sure, you know, everyone has different levels of sensitivity. If someone eats meat quite a lot, especially red meat, their body's going to be very dense. They won't feel so clearly because all the pathways in the body won't be as clear. So therefore, the sensitivity in the skin and the cells won't be there. And then,
so even if they're hearing the frequencies, it's not gonna penetrate.
it will definitely penetrate, but in terms of their capacity to make that connection between what's going on in the cells and actually feeling it in their own body, they may not feel it as strongly. And the same would go for if they're eating dairy products, because again that's clogging up the circulatory system. And the same if they're eating wheat-based, gluten-based food, because again that's gluing up your insides. So
they're all mucus forming foods, aren't they?
Yeah, so it's stopping your ability to feel. So it's not that it's not doing anything, it's definitely doing something, but whether you feel it or not is down to is down to very much your diet, and also the ability to focus inwardly, because some people are very based in their mind, which is why the 396 is great, because it helps ground the mind.
That's right.
And more, you know, to be more in line with the Dantian, you know,
there's no fear when you're grounded, is that right?
That's
There's
it.
no
That's
fear.
it. When you get out into nature, you know, all that fear and that anxiety and stress, that just kind of drains away, and you just feel more peaceful and calm yourself.